Is This a Ghost is sponsored by Pickney Bend Distillery. Boy, Christmas is it's right around the corner.
Terrifying, isn't it?
It is, because we have done, I'll be honest with you, no shopping. And I'm saying that on December 11th, but as you're hearing this on December 20th, also
situation hasn't changed.
No, I'm just so busy. But if I were going to do some shopping, and I probably will, most of it's going to be at pickneybend.com. PINCKNEYBEND.com. Now, the trouble is I can't buy anything there because they won't ship it. But what I can do is prep my list for all the people whom I love to get them the alcohol that will appease them for a while.
Get those IOU Post-it notes ready, because that's what everyone's getting inside of their gifts this year.
That's right.
It's a big box, not very heavy, but it's a big box, and you tear the whole thing up, and at the very bottom it's a Post-it note that says 1 bottle of Navy strength.
Yep. It says, next time I'm in New Haven, Missouri, I'm going to cash that in for you, bud. And for some of us, that's going to be very soon. For others, could be a lifetime.
Never happened. Yeah.
but that's kind of the magic of Christmas, is you never know. It's whimsy and mystery and magic. And as they say, it's a thought that counts. So if you want to be thoughtful for the person that you love in your life, then you're going to want to think about giving them a gift of Pickney Bend.
Because that spends just like money with those guys. Warm
I think
thoughts,
so. I
intentions.
think so. Yeah.
I remember Tara said that their annual goal for intentions was a little low. So she's asking us to,
if we could really increase the intentions, that would be great. The their earned intention revenue stream is it's not hitting the budget line that they were really hoping for this year. So if you could send some good intentions that way, that'd be great. And gosh, I think that I can't imagine. I don't know what else we could possibly say that would be good in an ad.
Cheers.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Is This a Ghost? I'm Clayton Smith, and every week I tell a real ghost story from real history to my real friend, Patrick Dean, who doesn't take it real seriously. But his camera is better today, sort of.
It is.
It's different.
Feeling pretty good about it, actually.
You know what's interesting is now, from this angle, your glasses reflect the screen that you're looking at. So when you look at your porn during the show, we're all going to know it.
Right. What if it's easier for you to see the reflection if I do this?
God, don't. God,
I'm just curious.
Why does it do that? What camera is it? Stop. That's unsettlingly close to your face.
Just saying. We got lots of cameras over here.
I don't understand it. You look like Elijah Wood in Sin City now.
Okay, that's better.
Elijah Wood.
He's had worse roles. He's had a lot worse roles.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. Lord of the Rings. What a fucking loser. Something's off with my drink.
Has Erin been into it?
Oh my God, it's rat poison. She's had enough.
Look, let's just get the podcast done quickly, because I don't think I just want to make sure.
Yeah.
You may get knocked out.
Sure. What is that?
Is it because maybe you're not drinking it from the correct drinkware?
It's not that I don't have a fake red Solo cup. I feel
with the beaver on it.
Yeah. With the beaver on it. But I do wish this had this glass could use a beaver. I'll be right back.
Did you take out the reading glasses? Or did you lose them in the jacuzzi? There you go. Okay.
What my basement needs is a jacuzzi. You see my basement, the wood paneled walls and the wood panel bar.
From time to time, it does turn into a jacuzzi.
Our insurance company hates that.
It's their least favorite time of year when it becomes the Smith family jacuzzi.
The cold sewage smell jacuzzi. But waste not, want not. And we want not that waste in our basement, please. How are you? You're drinking from a beaver cup.
Great. I'm great. I am drinking from beaver cup. I'm good. Yeah, really looking forward to recording this podcast. You know,
glad to hear it. I and our millions of listeners are glad to hear it. Last week I told you that I had something to say that I couldn't remember what it was, and I remembered what it was. Do you want to hear it?
cool. Yeah, sure. I mean, it only took a week, so why not?
Yep, sure did. I did write a note though. I gotta take notes for everything. I think is my one weird hack for remembering things is to write it all down. And what I wanted to say last week was we have a big announcement. We are working on some merch for Is This a Ghost?
What?
Yep.
No way.
And you know it because you've seen some of the mock-ups.
I can still act surprised though.
Oh, is that okay? I thought okay. Yeah, we're doing it. So if you're not following us on social media, you might not have seen these. But we are doing it. We're working on some merch. Ones of people have asked for it, and we are answering the call. So we're putting some pieces together, and so far a lot of it is designed by our friend Stephen Luna, who is an incredibly talented illustrator, who is wasting his time for reasons unknown on this show and our stuff.
But we're striking while the iron's hot. While we have Steven's attention, we're not going to give it up.
We're making him do everything until he stops, till he realizes what he's doing.
Yeah.
So thank you to Steven. And I think as I think your wife put it, Patrick, he's really doing God's work.
He really is.
For this podcast.
Honestly,
that is true. So
not the God we all think of. A different God.
A vengeful, horrible God.
One of those gods that lives down at the bottom of the ocean. One of those gods.
Yes, an elder God specifically. Yeah. And he's doing that God's work, and we love it. So keep an eye out.
Side.
What?
I want to stay on his good side, frankly.
So keep an eye out for that. I don't know. Probably after the new year, we'll open up the online store, and you can score some fun. Is This a Ghost nonsense? Which will be a lot of fun.
Yeah, be prepared to wear some T-shirts and have to explain them to literally 100% of the people that you meet on a daily basis.
100, except for when you go to the Is This a Ghost annual conference.
Oh,
that's the one place where you'll only have to explain it to 2/3 of the folks, I guess.
Yeah. iTagCon. When is iTagCon this year? I don't remember.
iTagCon is I think it's in August to celebrate my birthday. I required that as a Leo. I thought that was most appropriate.
That's good. So, I mean, I'm really busy in August, so I'll see if I can make it. But hopefully we can. I don't think you're
needed.
That's fine.
If you can be there, that would be ideal. But I don't think anyone's gonna notice if you're not there.
It's a lot of equipment to bring.
Yeah, it sure is. Actually, it's going to be in your basement, so so you don't have to bring a thing, friend.
It's fine. Yeah,
there's plenty of room. There's plenty of room.
You scooch some stuff over.
Yeah, I think so. Great. What else? Gosh, what else?
We had a first all girls wrestling match yesterday. That was something.
I have some questions.
So your goddaughter, Gloria.
Yeah, I know. I remember.
Yeah, her name is Gloria.
Yes, I'm going to write that down actually, so I don't.
You wrestled in her first wrestling tournament yesterday.
Okay, so it was her wrestling tournament. Now she's not very old.
She is. She's 10. She's 10 years old. There are brackets all the way down to kindergarten, which seems
kindergartners
young.
Can wrestle.
Kindergartens do nothing but wrestle, in fact. But this, it's basically...
well, that's a good point. This is, but you can pay for your child to wrestle.
Yes, yeah, they're pretty strict. They're pretty strict about it.
Yeah, I don't know.
But more importantly, you pay to get your kid out of the house for 2 hours a week to practice wrestling.
That's not nothing.
That's the life hack right there.
It's not nothing. And how did she do?
She did really well. She did not win either of her matches, but. She fought like a wild animal.
I think that's probably against the rules, right?
It was terrifying to watch. It was terrifying. She was literally
intense.
20% lighter than every other kid in her weight bracket.
That's a pretty wide weight bracket.
Yeah. She weighs 60 pounds, and everyone else in her weight bracket was at least 20% bigger. So you can imagine you're probably what, like $160, $175, something like that. Right about. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So you can imagine somebody 20% bigger than you whipping your ass in a gymnasium.
To be 20% bigger than you, that'd be over 300 pounds, I think. Height carries a lot of weight.
That's true.
Height carries weight.
Yeah, and your clothes weigh a bunch too.
Yeah, and I'm wearing those for sure.
Obviously,
I don't
I
don't like showing my
nude.
shoulders.
This is not. Yeah,
it's not Greco-Roman.
You were the only motherfucker down there on the mat with like a parka on,
yeah,
and your snow boots, and be like, I'm really much more comfortable wearing these.
Yeah, I really love a hoodie, so I will be wearing this the whole time. Hoodie and joggers is my uniform. So yeah, that's cool. Nice.
Yeah,
good for her.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I was listening to a different podcast this week, and they were talking about how they have tenets. They have like 3 tenets for their podcast.
Okay.
And I thought that could be a fun exercise for us. Like, what do we think the 3 tenets are? Right.
I didn't even see the one tenet that they put out, so I don't know.
I did think there might be a tenet joke, and
here we are.
I'm not disappointed, but
what are the 3 tenets?
Yeah, what do you think? So I want to ask you, what do you think? And I've had time to think about this, so I can go first.
I have not had any time to think about this,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna let you do the first one, and then I'll do the
So we'll
second one.
alternate back and forth.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
We'll end up with 6 tenets by the time it's all said and done.
I think so.
Fuck, it's gonna be a lot of tenets.
Yeah,
but that's fine.
Okay, so the first tenet I thought of was ghosts.
So I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Okay, the second tenet. Questions.
Okay. Yeah.
Questions. Ghosts.
Yeah. Okay. Third tenet. David.
David Tennant. Okay,
that was a joke. Okay, no, real.
Okay.
The honest third tenet. God, if David Tennant was part of this show, we would
I would bow out.
Listeners.
I would bow out.
Yeah, I think we should both bow out at that point, and it should just be his podcast.
At that point, it's called "Is this David Tennant?" And the episode's just
the answer is yes. And God, that would be so popular. I think our third then is whiskey. Even though we're both drinking gin tonight, but I'm going to stick with whiskey. Whiskey feels right.
Speaking of whiskey, ghosts. Yeah, questions.
Yes.
I'm gonna go with absurdism. That's what I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go with absurdism. That's kind of a tenet there.
Yeah.
Like this is the way it's going, and then we're gonna go.
Yes, we're going the other. We're going this,
and then we're gonna go off camera, and maybe we're gonna go up the stairs for a little while.
Yeah. Okay.
And then we're gonna flush the toilet.
Sometimes a very specific reason for people to watch the YouTube version of this. That's great.
If you want to go back into the wide angle lens, I really can. I'm just living that.
It's better than the close up lens.
That's fair.
My third one, so number 5, I think that I had written down here, which is kind of similar to absurdism, is our fifth tenet is being pretty bad at stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I think it's something we share.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I think the sixth and final. I think best friends.
Oh,
best friends, because we read about a lot of best friends.
Oh,
so
I thought you meant that you and I were best friends.
But we read about a lot of best friends. Like
yeah, you're right. Yes, yeah. I'm sorry, that was stupid. I don't know why I said that. I'm sorry, that was stupid.
Do you want to
story?
You want to do a ghost story?
Yeah, I do. I do want to do a ghost story, and this story comes from our good friend and unpaid intern Jen Swanson, who she suggested this story a little while back, and then fate is funny because then she had the opportunity to do the research for it,
and all of a sudden it came to the top of the pile. I don't really understand it. It's a mystery to us all.
Yeah. So thank you, Jen, for all this. It's a really good one, and I'm so grateful for again all the work. This is the final week of my semester, and I cannot wait for it to be over.
Then 12 weeks of break, and you'll be back at it by what, like Easter,
March,
I guess. Something like that.
Yeah.
Once it warms up some, like teaching in the winter, I can't imagine that's very easy.
We don't really do that.
It's
not really like our kind of our wheelhouse. So we just wait.
Kind of like hibernate a little bit. It's like,
a little bit.
PJ it up.
Yeah.
A little bit,
Yeah.
Kinda,
Now, to be fair, this is art school, so I do wear PJs to class.
yeah, I kind of figured.
I'm wearing this t-shirt and zip up hoodie. This is what I wore to school today to work. So I guess I PJ'd up, but that's every day.
That's fair. I made a big departure this year. I stopped wearing collared shirts to work about maybe a month ago or something like that.
So freeing, isn't it?
It really is. It's because I mean, after 20 years, I finally realized. I looked around my office and I was like, wait. Nobody else is wearing collared shirts here anymore. It was when I first started working there, it was like business casual. I got like a memo on day one about what I was supposed to wear and what like type of soles were supposed to be on the shoes and shit.
What sort of pocket protector they recommended?
Yeah. Whether they were doing metric slide rulers or standard, I mean, it was really specific stuff. And after I ruined 3 pairs of slacks with hydraulic oil, I was like, you know what? Fuck this.
That is a really bad plan.
Yeah, there are certain industries where you can get away with business casual day in, day out. Oily machinery rattling around all day long. Not really one of them.
Yeah. So now you wear coveralls.
No, I don't. No longer. I did wear them exactly one time. You will be surprised to know that in a machine shop full of middle-aged men that are covered in metal shavings and hydraulic oil, that if you walk out onto the floor in pristine white coveralls, you get your ass kicked halfway out the high bay until you realize what's going on.
So white coverall. You went with the white option.
They all start off white.
I don't think that's true.
They all do.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
you gotta earn your beige.
Yeah, I was wearing the paper ones. They were, they were disposed. I had a roll of them in my office. So I would just kind of pull them off the wall.
Yeah, I bet that you were pretty cool. And
I was pretty popular.
Can we be friends with this guy? He knows what's going on. All right. Anyway, so and you caused quite an uproar by wearing a black and white striped shirt a couple episodes ago. I don't know if you have been plugged into the chatter, but people were I want to say pleasantly surprised. I don't know. They were surprised is what I'll say, to see you wearing something not white. And someone made a comment that you had a different shirt that was not a white t-shirt. And he seemed really just kind of generally I wouldn't say amused. I wouldn't say angry. I would just say surprised.
I'm trying to think of the last time, since obviously the coveralls incident, when anybody in my life noticed what I wore.
Yeah. Well,
been at least
you're a big star now.
At least a decade, easily.
But now it's Hollywood rules now. So people are they're gonna go crazy over this blue Henley you've got. They are going to love it. Is that what that is?
Well, I have no idea. Blue shirt.
Amy just put some stuff on the bed this morning.
I put my arms up in the morning. She pulls it down over top of me. I said, I can do it myself. And then I get my head stuck, and I said, no, I can't do it myself.
Well, do you want to hear a ghost story?
Sure, I got time.
Mm-hmm. Well, in the year 1851, a whole bunch of folks in China were like, we don't like this here. It is not good.
And we were the first person to ever say they didn't like it over here.
That's right.
And what'd they do about it?
They sailed across the Pacific and they landed in sunny California.
Really?
It's a pretty good move.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you don't like China, SoCal is a pretty solid place to go.
It depends on what you don't like about China, I guess.
Okay, name some things that are the same.
I mean, if you don't like the food, a lot of Chinese food in California too.
Well, do you know why that is, though?
Did they bring it over? Is that what it was?
I think it's safe to say that yes. Okay. Yeah. So causation and correlation are not our strong suits on this podcast, but
so they sailed 3 ships: the General So, the Honey Butter Chicken.
I don't know if you can say that. I don't know if you can say that on this podcast. But go ahead. What's the third one?
The Kung Pao steamer.
That's a different whole thing. That's a sex thing. I'll just say it. A good one, but not
a good one nonetheless. Definitely one.
That's right.
I would recommend to all of our listeners to look up.
Yeah. Hey, Google Kung Pao steamer. I would recommend that you go
hit Control C for one of those incognito windows first.
Yes, incognito is going to be real key, real key, especially if you have a partner who shares your computer. So anyway, so yeah, 1851. A bunch of people in China were like, let's go to California, and they end up in. I mean, and really, this is obviously happening all over California, as you alluded to. With your casual racism, but these folks specifically ended up in Monterey Bay.
And they were like, the cost of living over here,
it's
astronomical.
Unbelievable.
Back in the boat, guys.
Yeah, so it is indeed. It's just it is just south of San Francisco. This is it's Silicon Valley land for sure. I don't know if that was necessarily as bad at being Silicon Valley in 1851.
Couldn't have been good though. Yeah.
No, I don't think so. And so
everyone's wearing like burlap hoodies. And
yeah, I think so. And fishnet turtleneckks, but actual fishing nets turtlenecks.
Like canvas tight cuff sweatpants. That with like a they were like stitched together.
Yes, yeah. And self-driving wagons.
Yeah, still Birkenstocks though.
Which is weird. I don't know. It's
eternal. Those things.
They've transcended time and space. So yes, this is down. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, so most of the immigrants to Monterey Bay had been fishermen back in China, and so they took up work doing what they do best. And thus, the fishing industry of Monterey Bay is born. In 1880, the Southern Pacific Railroad comes to town. And with it was built the Hotel del Monte. So you got fish, you got trains.
Fish got to stay somewhere.
So you got a hotel. These fish want to stay in a room that is, reflective of the lifestyle to which they have become accustomed living in Silicon Valley, for sure.
You know what? These fish got money to spend, and they're going to spend it somewhere.
Yep, that's right. You got it. So... you can be on the receiving end of that, or you can be on the sad end of that. And so Monterey Bay becomes more popular. Word gets out that there's this really gorgeous place because the whole coast of California is just ridiculous, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful country out there. And it's gorgeous. And hey, you can go out there, and it smells like fish, but it looks good. So do you want to go there?
Was this like on the pamphlet or something like that? Yeah,
they're like some fish, good sunsets,
lots of smells.
Some smells good. Do you like God's creatures? In 1851, they're like, yeah, I sure do.
I love, especially the sea lions. They're like, oh, okay, well, we have those.
They do have those. Actually, I didn't write this down, but part of the story that I didn't write down was the sea lion population was really good for a while, and then because of some activities that we will talk about, became less good.
Less good for whom exactly? The sea lion connoisseur? Sea lions,
but then I think the sea lions first, and then by extension, the sea lion connoisseur. Yes.
Okay, that's fair. Yes. I mean, for a while, it was kind of a sea lion boomtown. Right.
Yeah, I think so.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Now we're going to talk about sea life booming quite a lot. I don't want to spoil anything, so let's just keep going. Do you have time? How much time do you have? This is a long one.
I have 10 more minutes.
Okay, so gosh, well, that's the second note. Where are we? Oh, here we are.
Sea Lion Boomtown. We're at Sea Lion.
Sea Lion Boomtown. Okay, not even. This is the side notes. These are the notes that didn't make the notes. These are the backup notes. So now you can get there by train. You get to Monterey Bay. You can get to Monterey Bay by train. Jeremy, I'm sure will just smooth that out. And then you can stay in a fancy hotel.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, tourism starts to boom on the Monterey Peninsula.
Mm-hmm.
And these tourists go just fucking bananas for fish. They love fish, which I think makes a lot of sense, actually, because there's not a lot of ways that I know of to get fresh ocean fish in like Minnesota at this point.
Yeah, I mean, they got a lot of fish up there, but that's kind of like scary cold freshwater fish.
Ugh, those are river
you seen
fish.
Those? Yeah.
Well, I've seen those. I've seen river people, and it's like, ugh.
It's similar. It's very similar, actually.
Yeah. The river fish are the river people of fish.
Yeah.
And that's well known, and and that's when you get deliverance, basically. So yeah, they do have fish, but they want to gobble up. They want that sweet ocean fish, saltwater fish,
salty fish,
yeah, gefilte fish. I think it's called, right?
They got to taste better, right? I mean, they're in salt all day long.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, it's like a brine, really.
It is a brine.
It's like a wet brine.
They spend their entire life marinating.
I'm salivating just thinking about it. Really,
I gotta say that is true. That's good.
They really.
That's
good. Why didn't the sea lions hang out there?
That's true. That's true.
The sea lions aren't hanging out in the land of 10,000 lakes. They're not hanging out over there.
They could be lake lions. They could be.
Yeah.
They know how to swim
very easily.
They could go right up the river. They could be river lions. They're not. They're sea lions.
They're making a definite choice right there.
Yeah. I'm gonna write this down because I think I've been looking for a new academic paper to start writing, and I think that sea lions choosing the sea is something I could really sink my teeth into. Yeah. I think my tenure
You think your tenure is safe?
I think it's safe. I think my yeah.
I hope so. I really do.
I don't actually. I'm not tenure track, so that's tough. But I know. Anyway, if I were tenure track, I would definitely write from my marketing position about how sea lions chose the sea, because that's good marketing from the ocean, and no one's capitalizing on that.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, oh, the ocean's in trouble. No one is like, hey, the ocean is doing fucking great.
Yeah.
So
you would be working for Big Ocean, is what I'm hearing.
Totally.
Is Big Ocean hiring? They are now.
That's right. That's right. Anyway, God, what is going on? So,
is there a ghost at some point? Because I've just been.
I don't think, not in this episode.
Okay.
Actually, I'll tell you, there
part 2, there's a ghost. Right now, it's mostly sea lions and their foibles.
Yeah, and again, sea lions are on the B team in terms of this. We have not even we're not even on the first bullet point for the real notes. So word gets out. There's this really gorgeous place that smells like fish, looks good, and you can get there by train. Blah blah blah. So tourists are going crazy for fish. Oh yeah, we already did that. So they're in Montana. Yeah. Okay. Here we are. So, so the tourists are gobbling up the fish. They're like, "Oh my God, we've had river fish, but this is ocean fish. This is
better. Yeah, much less dirty. Yeah.
Yes.
Hardly dirty at all, really.
At this point in 1880, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
There was no floating trash bar the size of a continent at that point.
Yeah.
So they're like, you gotta try this fish. So these tourists come and they have the fish, like, this is great fish. And they go home and they're like, you gotta go to California. The views are great. And the fish is so good. And so the demand for Monterey Bay fish specifically starts to really roll in from the interior.
Yeah. How hard is this for you personally, by the way, to say fish 17 times less?
Thank you for asking that question. Thank you for being sensitive to my needs. It's tough. I've been trying really hard to think of the fish as kind of like pre-prepared sushi.
Okay.
For this. Yeah. That's like my mental trick that I do for myself.
Yeah. Like nigiri kind of just floating along in the water. That's fine.
Sort of like, yeah. And like, rice rolls and stuff. And I, because I love sushi. Love it.
Sure. Well, I mean,
gobble, yum, yum.
That's conquering, right?
Yes, exactly.
Like, you can't be afraid of sushi. Like, that's you winning.
Yeah. It's like, take this if I could eat every single fish on the planet, that would be actually my best case scenario.
Yeah. I can imagine your nightmare would be like a carp the size of a bus eating you as sushi, right? That would be.
Well, I haven't thought about that before, but now I won't sleep for.
But like, you can think of it. That's cool. You can imagine.
I am now. Yes. Thank you.
We'll have Jen put a little like artist representation down in the bottom.
Oh yeah. Right. Yeah. Hey Jen, if you connect with Luna
there.
Yeah,
right
he'll
there.
do that for sure. He'll think that's funny.
Thanks,
so you
Jen.
can do that.
And thanks, Steven. Appreciate it.
Actually, my real nightmare fish is gar.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, as I say, I'm not alone in that one because they are terrifying looking fish, and also they hang out in Table Rock Lake. That's one of their favorite places. Which
I've
is
seen them there many a
place.
time.
You've seen the gar? I don't
I
like
have
that.
at the bottom of the dam. At the bottom of the dam, there they just chill down there.
Oh yeah, you're right. Down there,
They're like someone just started a goddamn chainsaw and threw it in the lake and just let us swim around.
It is horrifying. Now, mostly they say the very bottom of Table Rock is what the pamphlets say.
Until they hunger, right? Of course.
Yeah, until they smell the sweet smell of human flesh. If you haven't seen a gar, if you're not from Missouri like we are, you just Google gar and God help you, I guess. Anyway, Patrick and I share a favorite lake, and it's full of gar.
Oh man, beautiful lake.
Beautiful lake.
So anyway, so if you grew up eating, let's say, gar day in and day out, and you get to the ocean and you think to yourself, well, none of these,
this is Little Nemo. Hi, Little Nemo.
None of these fish look like a pruning instrument. What the hell?
Yeah,
you're probably pretty high on fish at that point.
Also, I don't think that Table Rock Lake, as much as I love Table Rock, I don't think that's not a good marinade.
Oh, definitely not.
That's Ozark. That's Ozark drug piss water. Is what that is.
Yeah, it is a marinade. It's very much marinade.
Yeah, for sure. It is soaking in for sure.
The way like a gutter would be a marinade for something.
Yeah, if you haven't read Winter's Bone, then you might not really understand what what these fish are marinating in Table Rock Lake. But you don't want to eat it. Okay, on to bullet point number 2. So it's
of 714.
So demand for the fish starts rolling in, and the fishermen, this is great because they're like, we do love selling fish. We do like making that fish money. But the problem with people in the interior of the United States trying to get fish from the coast in 1880 is it's not good to ship those fish.
Right. Because like the airplanes don't go very fast back then, and
I think they're all gliders. You have five burly men who push a literal cardboard box that is open
as fast as they can, across 5 states to reach Dodge City, Kansas, and their new sushi restaurant they just opened. Called River Gar Sushi, and they're like, hang on guys, I got something a little bit better.
Jesus Christ. So shipping
this fish isn't brown. What is this? I don't know. Let's try it. Doesn't taste like smoke. This is a strange thing. I don't know what to call this.
What the fuck are these little white grains? This isn't wheat. So when you ship fish, it smells bad because it rots.
Because of the rotting of the fish.
Because of the rotting. Because of the rotting.
Mainly.
So as the fishing industry and the tourism industries are both growing simultaneously, it becomes pretty important to find a new way to ship those little fishies. And
so ice was invented. Yeah.
I mean, probably yes. Around this point, yes.
Yeah.
I've seen Meet Me in St. Louis, and they had ice trucks, and that was time of the World's Fair.
1904, right?
Yes. So my next note though is in 1902.
So 2 years before the invention of ice, right?
Yes, I think so. Companies were like, well, there's nothing we can do will make it cold. So what do we do? And they start building canneries on Monterey Bay.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yes, it is a good idea.
Yeah. A lot easier to keep the cans cold. This makes sense.
Yeah. Yes, that's right. Because cans transfer the cold air a lot better than I guess fish scales.
I don't know. This is all.
You're the engineer. I don't know.
Yeah.
I thought you would be able to fill in some gaps here, but I was wrong, and that's fine.
I'm still imagining like the canneries basically just having to fight with sea lions all day long, like the whole thing. Like half the job is just keeping sea lions out of the factory. Get the fuck out of the factory! My God,
I don't want to can you.
Yeah,
I don't have a big can.
And thus, canned sea lion meat was born.
And that's the story. And that's how Silicon Valley started. They were like, we can disrupt the canning industry by canning sea lions.
They're like, you tech bros, you just reinvented spam again. No,
like no,
this is different.
It's very different.
It's just like when I invented the bus. This is totally different.
Very different. So this is all going great, and business is going well because people are like, oh, canned fish is great, and the biggest fish crop, which is a weird way to talk about fish, but I guess it makes sense. We talk about corn could just be living its life and not be bothered, but we call it a crop. So corn is like the fish of Kansas.
Yeah, corn could also grow to the size of a school bus and eat you like sushi. So
I don't think so. I don't think.
I trust it. I don't think.
I'm not sure. You know what? Yeah. Hey, vegans, you're not immune to this.
you don't get off. You don't get off
it's
free
time
here.
for you to feel some fear too. Sardines are the biggest crop there, and so sardines famously do really well in cans.
They do. I have 2 cans upstairs right now.
Do you really?
I absolutely do.
That's so gross.
Oh my god! I'll turn off the camera and eat a couple.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
Oh, I might throw up. I don't. That's so good. No, the problem with sardines is they look very fish-like. No, stop it. I think if you ate a sardine with that zoomed-in camera, I would quit this podcast.
That would be the end of season 3 right there.
It would be the end of everything.
It would be the big cliffhanger. Will Clayton come back for season 4? I don't know.
Spoiler alert, it's no.
No.
I would not. Nope. All the trust that we've spent, that we've built up over these last several, it's only been a year and a half. Okay.
Yeah.
That would all be gone for sure.
It's got to get spent somewhere.
I don't think so. But now the fact that I have learned that we might not be best friends, it's really opened up a lot of new possibilities for me in terms of what you may or may not do on camera to end this podcast. So I don't know. Anyway, this is bullet 4. So sardines love cans. They love being canned. They love going into the
natural environment. Really?
Yes. So they're doing that. So they start canning. So it's going great. And people inside the country are like, God, we love sardines. We didn't know that we needed sardines in our life until now, which again is so gross. But these idiots love it. And business is going really well. And then sometime later, World War I breaks out.
Oh, is this bad for sardines?
What do you think?
Is it good? I bet it's good for sardines.
It's very good for sardines.
Yeah.
Because now we've got these big old wholesome American mouths overseas, and they need some
desperate for fish.
Good American fish. And you can't just send them fish. You can just be like, here's a carp. Because now they're real far away. So the canned fish industry, specifically the canned sardine industry, goes fucking crazy. Just blows up. So the already successful canning industry goes totally nuts. And our boys, the boys in green, just love it. They just love that American fish. So between 1916 and 1918, a lot of new canneries open in Monterey Bay. So there are already a bunch new open, including, here is a not exhaustive list: Monterey Canning Company, Pacific Fish Company, Bayside Fish and Flour, which I think was featured in Saved by the Bell.
Right.
San Xavier
Flour. I'm sorry, flour as in like baking flour, or flour as in like we're also putting flours in the cans?
Baking flour, which is weird because I mean there are certainly farms in California, but I don't not on the coast. But maybe then yes. I don't know. Anyway, flour, yes. Flour, yes. I don't know. Okay, so I'm going to start again because you've interrupted me. Monterey Canning Company, Pacific Fish Company, Bayside Fish and Flour, San Xavier Canning Company, California Fishers Company, Pacific Packers / Great Western Sardine Company is just a few. Oh, and Hovden Cannery.
Did they say it 3 times like that, or
Hovden? It's like a law firm. Hovden Cannery, which was built by a Norwegian, quote, fisherman and innovator, whose name was Knut Hovden. Now, Hovden was a leading innovator in canning technology.
Okay.
What does that mean in 1918? No idea.
Our fish are least susceptible to the spoils.
I like that he's Russian also. That's fun.
Yeah.
Yes, you've heard of sardine key that you turn can and open.
Yeah.
You have not? Oh, I know, because I just invented it.
Yes.
Yes, I invent, so he's good. Which is not at all how Norwegians talk. But anyway, very quickly, this part of Monterey Bay becomes known as Cannery Row.
I've heard of that. I've heard of it now. Okay,
Yes,
now we're getting back into things that I know.
That's okay. What do you know about Cannery Row? Go ahead.
Is that
I can tell you're thinking.
Is that a Salinger thing?
Oh God, you're so close. All right. All right. Well, we will talk about that. You're so close. I'll give you points because you're, in a way, you're not at all close, but in a way, you're very close. So
I'll take the second one.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Great. So now you have all these immigrants who are working before sunrise till after sundown. Putting all these
squeezing sardines into little cans.
All these cans. Yeah. So the working conditions
making
are
me so hungry.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
So
not great.
They're not good. Not good. People died a lot.
Yeah, and those people got from squeezing, right?
Yeah, they were like, "No, I'm not a fish. Don't put me in can." No, oh no!
Don't put the rest of me in other little cans. Oh no!
Oh, my finger! No! Oh, my other finger!
Oh, my fourth and fifth and sixth. That's okay. Fine. It's a lot of my fingers are in the cans now. Yes.
Oh no, my toe! No, my second.
Not starting down here.
Yeah, I think that happened a lot.
Yeah,
and
just excruciatingly long, just days,
days of joke
of happening. Slowly packing Norwegians into cans against their will.
Of slowly packing Russian-speaking Norwegians into their cans. It was a real scene. So people are dying a lot because the conditions are so bad. It's very unsafe. This is before unions. Now, later in 1945, the author John Steinbeck would write a book called Cannery Row.
Damn it.
Steinbeck.
I knew it was one of the two.
Yes. You knew it started with an S. Knew it started with an S, though.
I knew it was an S, and I knew it was a famous guy.
A famous S.
A famous S author guy.
Yes.
So, I mean, how many of those can there be? I think
two.
Two. Yeah.
I think two. So Steinbeck writes Cannery Row about life working at the canneries, and conditions are pretty bad. Here's one example of that. Now, and this is not necessarily the best example of like how bad it was inside the canneries, but it's a good example of just general terribleness in the industry. So on September 14th, 1924, lightning struck a petroleum oil tank farm near the water. You okay?
Getting better.
Okay. So these petroleum tanks exploded and, quote, a river of flaming oil destroyed 2 canneries.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's either a lot of oil or 2 pretty small canneries, but yeah.
It's a lot of oil. I'll you know what? Give me a second. You'll be the judge. So because there were so many workers packed inside with no easy exit, it's not good. It's not good. Yeah. I couldn't find the death toll. No one is talking about how many people died in this thing.
Right.
Actually, I did find one. So this is what it's like sometimes to look up things from the early 20th century in America when it comes to immigrants dying, is that I could find no information about how many immigrants working in the factories died. I did find, though, a source that said 2 soldiers died fighting the fire, which certainly is regrettable.
However,
you know, Anyway, but it's an insane fire.
Mm-hmm.
So to sort of answer your question, over 55,000 gallons of crude oil
Mm-hmm.
and 600,000 gallons of gasoline burned up in this fire, as well as kerosene tanks. So it's a pretty big fire.
Yeah.
It's bad. It is.
I mean,
it's the biggest fire in
history. So
yes, I'm trying to
Yeah.
think of specifically what history, if it's like California history or oil
gasoline history.
or whatever.
Yeah.
And I think it's probably all the above.
This is the biggest gasoline fuck up we've had. I'll be honest. It's dangerous stuff. We knew that, but we stopped doing it
didn't
this
know
way.
it'd be like this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that happens, but things keep booming on Cannery Row.
Mm-hmm.
Even through the Depression, they received permits then to turn edible sardines into fertilizer and fish meal.
Okay.
So the Depression happens. People are obviously not buying canned fish.
But people are starving to death, and they take the food and they make sure that the fish have enough food.
Yeah, you do want to feed your fish. That makes sense. Also,
otherwise, you're going to run out of more fish. So
that's right.
Sense.
So that's going to be a theme that we see replayed here in a second. One totally wild set. They turn 2/3 of a billion sardines into fertilizer every year during the Depression. 2/3 of a billion sardines per year.
Yeah.
They just grind into fertilizer.
That's like one Shohei Ohtani of sardines every year.
What a fucking contract. What
Oh my God.
are the Dodgers thinking? This is the math of a team that has gotten so close to the World Series for like several years in a row. And they're like, fuck it. We're doing
Yeah. This is definitely like divorced dad energy signing contracts right now.
Absolutely.
Like, oh, I see. And if I just drain my 401k to buy this Lamborghini, I wouldn't be cooler. Oh, weird. Because I did.
The fact that he's deferring most of it now is, you're right. The Bobby Bonilla thing is going to be nothing in a few years compared to this. It's amazing. But yes, so it's basically that turning the fertilizer. And again, like, there are a lot of things that make fertilizer. They don't need more fertilizer. They just don't want to go out of business.
I mean, there's so many poor people dying on the streets that you can just grind their bones into ferther. And
that's right. That's right.
I
and
mean,
that's
it's the Depression,
organic.
man.
Yeah. So this is happening. So they're just doing so many fish into fertilizer. And then the 40s come around and World War II starts.
The roaring 40s.
The roaring 40s for the fish industry, because once again, our boys overseas need American fish. And so Cannery Row is back, baby. And they expand even more canneries start to open on the backs of World War II. Now, this turns out to be short-sighted, because within 5 years of that expansion, the entire canning industry dies in Monterey, because they have taken literally all of the sardines out of the ocean.
Oh,
At least out of that part of the ocean. There are no more sardines left. We are so stupid. This is such so say a few years earlier, they were grinding, again, 2/3 of a billion sardines every year into fucking dust for fertilizer. And they're like, oh no, we ran out of sardines. We just thought they would be here forever.
Well,
on to the next resource we can deplete.
You know what they say? There's more fish in the ocean.
Well, they do say that. And then some of the canneries did pivot to canning other things, including other fish. So
that's where that saying came from. Honestly, it probably is.
So.
I think so. Yeah. Was that in Steinbeck's novel? It probably was.
Yeah, there was this character who was fucking fish, and they were like, "Don't worry, the sardines are all gone. I know you love to fuck sardines, but there's
to the tune of 700 million sardines a year. But eventually,
There's tuna.
Yeah.
Anyway, so one of the canneries that survived for a while was the Hovden Cannery. Hovden Cannery. It lasted until 1973. It finally closed its doors because of the full collapse of the entire area's fish population. Capitalism did its thing. Lots of people made money, and the planet died a lot. And we, that's a thing that we keep doing.
And unfortunately, the delicious part of the planet. I think that's what's really lost in all this is, this wasn't some endangered bug on the other side of the earth. This was a delicious resource.
Yeah.
We fucked it up.
Yeah. Yeah. We're really living with the sins of our ancestors, for sure. Now, everyone in Monterey at this point is like, well, we did kill all the fish. That's too bad. What if we just I don't know, here's a lark. What if we tried the opposite of that? And so the people of Monterey Bay begin the very long process of converting the old Hovden Cannery building into an aquarium.
Oh, okay. And then you eat the fish out of the aquarium.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah.
Yeah. It's homegrown fish. I gotta say, we were. Go ahead.
No.
So Aaron and I took the girls to LA for Thanksgiving to see her family, and we went to an aquarium. Went to to one of the aquariums there, and while we were there, we got lunch because you got to have lunch. And I ordered the fish tacos because it seemed like the best thing on the menu, but I thought, this is so uncomfortable. Like, what?
They're all looking at me.
Their friends are all around me. So these fish come from this place. It's very uncomfortable.
It'd be so funny if you were sitting there like, oh, the fish tacos. The waiter's like, oh, okay. He looks around the room. And which
version of Dory would you like in your taco? Here they are swimming happily. Pick a Dory.
Yeah, these two actually sing very beautifully. The one on the left, not quite as good.
So of course I picked that one. I don't. What are you gonna do? I'm gonna preserve art, teach it in arts college. So anyway, so they turn the cannery building into an aquarium. It's a pretty crazy feat. So if this were an architectural podcast, we could talk about this for a long time, but obviously it's not.
Very much not.
Here's what I'll say. The architects were like, we should retain the cannery-ness of this.
Yeah, all the severed fingers and all that good stuff.
Yeah, we want those. Don't pick those up off the floor. Leave those there.
It's all evidence.
Yeah. Which so this meant building around the abandoned cannery instead of demolishing it and starting from scratch, which I think was actually a pretty extraordinary thing for the 70s. I don't think that was a very common practice.
Yeah.
So it's true. And apparently it's a pretty extraordinary building. I've not been there, but they did manage to keep the original boiler room. They kept the warehouse. They kept some other tanks and things. And if you look at the photos for what is now known as the Monterey Bay Aquarium, it looks like an old cannery building. Like they built the new things to look like it's really cool. Half of the aquarium sticks out over the water, so they had to put in footings during low tide in the middle of the night.
Oh wow!
The whole thing was a real labor of love.
Yeah, like Shed kind of in St. Louis, or not in Chicago. The Shed Aquarium kind of like sticks out over Lake Michigan, so the big like viewing area with the belugas and the otters and all that kind of stuff. You kind of just looking at in that panorama.
Yeah,
over Lake Michigan. Yeah, beautiful.
And the Monterey Bay Aquarium then opens finally on October 20th, 1984.
How many years is it under construction?
Quite a few. I didn't write that down, but it's about 10.
Wow, goodness gracious.
Maybe like 7. 7-ish. 7.
Still a lot.
Takes a long time.
I would have lost interest. So
that's why I didn't call you. Patrick. Yeah. Can I build an aquarium? I don't know. We're starting to think based on this phone call. Maybe you're not the right person.
Does it take more than 3 months of my attention span? Oh, maybe. I don't know if I'm interested.
Can I draw crayons? Can I draw it with crayons? I don't know words. So it's when it opens, it's the largest public aquarium in the U.S. And the aquarium slogan on opening day, which I really truly love, was quote, "The fish are back." Is
the aquarium at this point, is it just 100% sardines? Because that would really be the funniest end to this entire thing. Every single tank, dozens of sardines.
Here's what I'll say. It's not. However, there is a gigantic fucking sardine. What do they call it? A cylinder? I don't know. We'll talk about it later, but there is a big, like the central section of the aquarium is a giant sardine tank. Giant sardine. By 1994, it was the most attended aquarium in the United States.
Wow.
It has won multiple architectural and preservation awards. And honestly, the only problem with this building, if I had to pick a problem, if I had to say like, and I don't think I would, but if I had to pick one problem with the building, besides a fish,
right?
Which is why every aquarium should be set on fire. Yes. If I had to pick a problem, it would just be that this aquarium is haunted as fuck. And before we get
good for us though.
What?
Good for us though.
Sort of, yeah. In that we can talk about it. Not in the fact that I have to think about fish a lot during this episode, but
and fish ghosts, which sounds really scary.
It's not good. Just the idea that I could be haunted in the afterlife by fish is horrifying. Before we talk about the hauntings, though, gotta say, this week once again we are sponsored by Smart Labels. It's almost Christmas, as you know, Pat, and just a few days away here now as the listener flies. And soon you're all going to be, look, you're not thinking about it now, but soon you're going to be thinking about, what do I do with these decorations? They got to come down. And one of the biggest problems with that is when you do that, you think, God, how am I going to find these things in 362 days or whatever? And we have an answer for you, and it's Smart Labels. So this year, listen, do yourself a huge favor, folks. Do yourself a favor, please. Just help yourself out. Here's the problem with taking down decorations for Christmas. You take them down and you stuff them in boxes and you think finding these things, that's a future Clayton problem. And I am
like so many things.
Yes.
Not going to worry about it right now.
Like so many things in my daily life, I think this is a future Clayton problem. But then eventually present Clayton becomes future Clayton, and then it's present Clayton's problem. And that is, I get so mad at past Clayton. So I'm like, come on, man, could have done better. And now this year I finally have an opportunity to do better. And so do you. So does Patrick. So does everyone. You can all be nicer to your future selves by getting some Smart Labels. Yeah. It's not hard.
Yeah.
Go to Amazon. Go ahead. Yeah, what do you want to say, Pat? Go ahead. Pop off, Pat.
Be kind to future listener. Like current listener, I know you don't have a lot of respect for yourself. Obviously, you're listening to this podcast, but have some respect for future listener. I think future
that especially, but go on.
I think future listener really deserves a little bit of kindness, and that's that's really what you're doing here. Is you're making life easier for future listener.
That's true. That's true. What Smart Labels is doing is selling you kindness to your future self. And it's so, I mean, especially in light of like that gift, God, it's so cheap. Like, what a deal. Unbelievable. You can go to Amazon, you can search Smart Labels, and you can buy your own Smart Labels. They will come to your door. As we talked about last time, Jeff Bezos probably won't deliver them with his weird laugh. And you will get these color-coded QR codes that you can put on your boxes. You can say, okay, you know what? This year, this box, just Christmas lights. Put all your lights in there. And then you close it up and you put the label on it. And then you take your phone with the app and you scan it and you're like, this is the Christmas light box.
Easy. And then you go hide it somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you hide it and then you don't care because then you can always find it later. It's so good. And you're like, here are the decorations that the kids love because they make a lot of noise. And then if I hear one more Christmas, I will throw myself out a window. And I don't want to lose this box in case it becomes important for leverage reasons to someday produce these things. But
just in case the kid's therapist has a bunch of weird demands about how I threw away these toys.
Yeah.
Say, no, I'm going to get out my smart label. I'm going to say, no, I did not. Even though the smart label is clearly labeled garbage, it did not actually get thrown away.
That's right.
And I can produce it.
Yeah. And that's a gift to your future self too, in so many ways. So please, so go, this is the time. Christmas is almost here and God love it, but that means it's almost over. And that means you're going to spend some time putting stuff away. Do yourself a big old favor. Go to Amazon, search for smart labels, buy yourself a pack of smart labels, download the app, get it going. Put them away, take pictures of what's in boxes, label your boxes, tell yourself via the app where the boxes are going. Like it's just, God, I can't tell you how much next year's you will thank you. And much like, Christopher Nolan movie, we're here to tell you that next year's version of you loves it. And next year's version of you, I don't want to say they're going to go find a way to go back in time to strangle you to literal death if you don't do it, but they could. That's what we're saying. They could.
So avoid that, obviously.
Thank you to smart labels.
So Eeyore arose one morning and looked about his surroundings and thought, no one is within earshot. I can probably say all of my big cusses now if I wanted to.
Okay. That's weird. I don't remember that part of the book, but you're right. We are back now. Jesus is a ghost. So let's pick it back up. Where are we? Okay. So much of the very old building where so many people died is still intact as part of the aquarium. And this is almost certainly, I think it is, I think it's safe to say, yes, for sure, the most haunted building we have yet covered.
Certainly the most haunted former cannery, current aquarium we've
without
encountered.
Question.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Top 3 easily.
Yeah. All those other ones were like not so impressive.
Yeah.
This one, yeah. So buckle up. So secure. Okay. So here we go. Security guards during the graveyard shift have reported many odd things. One of the most common reported is the sighting of a woman in a black gown who haunts the open sea wing. There's a wing, it's called the open sea wing.
Okay, that's fine.
I mean, it's fish from the open sea that they have said, you no longer live in the open sea. You live in this box.
You live in a 15-gallon box with a placard on the outside of it.
Yeah, that's tough. It's tough. Yeah. But
now, mind you, that fish doesn't, live with the constant crippling anxiety of being eaten in one gulp by a shark, but
that's much better.
Yeah, but the trade-off is it's
substantial.
16 hours a day of having the glass tapped on by a pudgy kid looks like he's from a Pixar movie. So
anyway, so there's a woman in black who haunts the wing. She's been seen on security cameras late at night.
Really?
Long after the aquarium is closed. Yes, indeed. Huh. Now, one night, a monitor in the security office caught her standing under the anchovy roundabout. Oh, sorry, it's not sardines. It's the anchovy roundabout.
Again, no less delicious. Honestly, no less delicious here.
No better delicious, is the saying. And so on the security footage, she turns and leaves. And then she's picked up on a second camera walking past the open sea exhibit. The security officers are like, this is closed. This woman in this old black dress cannot be here. So they go to investigate and they find nothing. They search the entire aquarium. There's no one there. That's a ghost.
Sure, yeah. And okay. I assume they recorded the video and submitted to police and all that kind of stuff, or
here's what I'll say. I don't want to spoil anything, but I did not find video of this incident.
Right. Sure.
But actually, you know what? I'm glad you said it, because what I did do, I have a note here, can show Disney footage if Patrick is a dick. And I'm so glad I did that. So
I mean, honestly,
Go on.
How hard is it to just like take the tapes from that night and be like, oh, hey, just so everybody knows, paranormal event on VHS.
That's not good
Check
marketing.
Oh, I think it's very good marketing.
Well,
Everybody want to show up. I mean,
I
just
would
like
love it for sure.
two drunk security guards who are trying not to get in trouble for, vaping on the job. I don't really think they.
What I will show you, I don't have a video of that, but I do have a video of a similar
Disney
thing
video
happening at Disneyland. Yes, and I want to show it to you. Now. So,
at Disneyland, what?
Disneyland. You've been to Disneyland, right?
I do. It's not really close to our subject, though. I will note.
Well, it's in California.
It's
actually Anaheim is very close in terms of. Well, that's pretty far, actually. Still, it's much closer than we are.
Correct. Yes. Yeah.
So,
in much the same way that the moon is very far from us.
Yeah.
But,
all right, you can see this, right?
I can see a very abstract image.
Yeah, I'm going to play this video. So what you're going to watch is a video of a ghost moving across various security cameras at Disneyland.
At Disneyland.
From Haunted Mansion. Yeah, just to show you like what it might be like to watch The Woman in Black.
Okay, sure.
Okay, well, this is now, okay. Oh, it's going to settle in a second. Okay.
Will it?
God, I guess not. What? Calm down, camera. What is going on? Okay, so you see this. God.
I do see this, yes.
There's this little thing walking. That's a person. Except it's
that is a person walking?
See that? See the thing?
Okay.
Now look here. It's in this camera. Goes through the gates. There it goes.
Right.
Look at that.
Wow.
Now it's going to go, wait. There's more.
You're
like, where is it? I don't see it. Just wait, because it's going to show up here pretty soon. Wait for it.
Wow.
There it is.
Pretty wild.
Yeah. So this thing, what is it? You can't explain. It's a ghost. It's a ghost.
Sure,
what else could it be?
It's still at Disneyland, though.
Now it's
still.
Here. Yeah. I mean, again, this is not. Yeah.
A few zip codes down from Monterey Bay.
I'm just suggesting to you through visual evidence that this sort of thing happens all the time. So, anyway, so that's what it was like.
What was it? Hang on. What was the next video on there?
This video is 5 Disneyland ghosts caught on video, and this might be a whole episode to itself. So I don't want to.
That's fine. As long as we can do as long as we can do the firewood splitting episode afterwards, that's all I really care about.
I don't know. It's so dangerous. I don't want to do that. But yeah. So anyway, so that was why. What was the point there? Oh yeah. So it really just happens. Sometimes the ghosts are caught on. So the Woman in Black is no different. Anyway, one night, a security officer at the aquarium was doing nighttime rounds when he walked through the gallery that's adjacent to the open sea exhibit.
Yeah.
And he passed a woman in a black gown sitting on a bench a few feet away. And she nodded at him.
Right. As he was like, did he shoot her?
Well, first he was just like, he's just like, hello. So he's not thinking. He says hello. And he keeps walking. But after a few steps, he's like, wait a minute, we're closed.
Yeah, like a very Wile E. Coyote reaction to this woman being in the aquarium. Sure.
Yeah. So he turns back, and the woman is gone.
Ah, it's a shame.
I don't think it is. I think that's best case scenario. I don't think you want to confront a ghost. I don't think so.
She can probably tase a ghost. I'm sure she'd.
I don't think that's right.
I think you could. I really do.
Okay. I don't think so.
I think there's just enough corporeal left in there that you can probably tase it.
Susceptible to electrons, quite a lot. There's also an employee there named Kevin Wright, who was a security manager. Now he's now the manager of interpretive programs because I looked on LinkedIn. He's a real human.
Interpretive programs? Okay.
Yep. But he used to be security manager.
Right.
And when he would walk on his rounds, he used to flip his keys around in his fingers so they would jingle.
Right.
Just like spin, boop, boop, which is what I would do when I would watch, certainly.
Yeah. Shit else to do.
Yeah. Now he would do this so people, like other security guards, like if they heard him coming, like if they heard it, they would know, like, oh,
yeah, don't shoot me.
There's a person. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Don't tase me, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but I also think if your job is to like make sure there's no criminals in the space, I don't know if letting them know that you're coming is a good strategy.
Yeah, it's a bit of a Barney Fife. Yeah.
Yeah, but Barney Fife lived. He survived the entire Andy Griffith
Barney
show.
Fife didn't get no holes put in him, I'll tell you that much.
And that's can't say that for everyone in in Mayberry, so that's pretty good. Anyway, so one night Kevin is walking around flipping his keys, and he crosses. There's a bridge between the ocean's edge section and the open sea section.
Mm-hmm.
He's crossing this bridge, and as he's reaching the open sea area, he hears the bridge creak behind him. He turns back. There's no one there.
Mm-hmm.
So he stops jingling his keys and he listens, doesn't hear anything. So he keeps walking. As he's walking, he then hears the sound of footsteps behind him, and he hears someone else's keys jingling from the bridge. So he turns around again, but there's no one on the bridge.
Mm-hmm.
So he calls out, "How's it going?" thinking it's another security officer.
Mm-hmm.
There's no answer, but the jingling does stop. So Kevin's freaking out a little bit, but he's not because he thinks it's a ghost, but because he thinks like someone's fucking with me.
Yeah. Yeah. I can imagine like night security, a big chunk of that job is fucking with the other night security.
That's got to be that's the reason you do that job for sure.
I can like there is an absolute legendary 8-season sitcom of you and I being night security guards at an aquarium.
Correct. And hey Hollywood, if you're listening, the writer's strike is over. We're available. We'll put that into play for sure. So he heads back into the open sea exhibit, and he's flipping his keys again and just going along this thing. And he rounds a corner, and then from right behind him, he hears the other keys jingling, like right behind his back.
Mm-hmm.
So he screams and he jumps. He spins around. There's no one there.
Ooh.
So he calls the security office and he asks, "Who else is on the night crew right now? Like, who else is out here, walking because someone's fucking with me."
Mm-hmm.
And the security office tells him the night crew is all gone. He is the only person left in the building.
And then he says, "Who's replying to this message?"
Sorry, the security office is off-site. I guess I should have mentioned that. So he's alone in the building. A different night, Kevin is crossing the same bridge over to the open sea exhibit. And he
comes back to work after this?
Again, he's still working there. Go to LinkedIn. This man is still there. He still works there.
Man. Yeah. That dude must need a job.
Doing like God's
hard.
Work. He must be a felon.
Yes.
Yeah.
With these tattoos, I don't give a fuck about ghosts. I can't get any other work but this.
I put the Chucky doll tattoo on my face. That in hindsight, that was a mistake. But I love working the night shift here. Please don't fire me. And so a different night, Kevin is crossing the same bridge, and he sees someone else walking into the open sea exhibit on the other side of the bridge. Now the silhouette is familiar to him. It's this tall, lanky guy.
Who often walks into the open sea exhibit to canoodle and such. Hey, I'm here for the otters. We both know they don't mind.
I tell them, if you don't like this, just say so, and they never do so. No, so it's a fellow security officer whose name is Essex, which I assume is his last name because that's a wild first name. But it's a tall man with a distinctive walk, and so he sees him walking, and so Kevin watches him in there, and he's watching Essex, and he's like, okay, he's just doing rounds. But then he sees Essex stop inside the sardine roundabout area. And Essex then lays down on the floor and puts his head down as if to take a nap.
I mean, night crew, it sounds like hard work.
That's what I would do. We use that at Blockbuster, I think, every night, and we closed at like midnight. So, yeah. So Kevin watches.
There's two of you there, right? One of you sleeps, the other one patrols for
the other one steals money out of the cash register. Yeah. And so he sees Essex fall asleep on the floor, and it's weird. So Kevin calls out to him. He says, "Hey, Essex, you taking a nap?" And then from a few feet behind him, Essex says, "What do you mean?" Scares the bejesus out of Kevin. He spins around, and there's Essex. And he's like, "What the fuck?" So he turns back to the sleeping man, and that man has now vanished. He's gone. So once again, Kevin calls security control to see who's out walking besides him and Essex, and the control room says it's just you two. There's no one else in the museum tonight. Now Kevin tells Essex what happened. Essex says, "You're on your own."
I quit.
Yeah, quote, I'm
going to learn to code. I am sorry.
I'm going to make electric cars. And let's see. Yes. So another officer swore he repeatedly heard the sounds of children laughing and running in the basement.
Terrifying.
After dark on the midnight round. Now, I mentioned before the old boilers are still there at the building. They're these huge 2-story fucking monstrosities that are stationed right next to the entrance. And I have a photo for you. I think you'll enjoy.
I love a good boiler pick.
I love a boiler pick. If there's one thing I know about you, you do love a boiler pick.
Do you have a steamer pick, by the way? Or...
I do, but that's for our OnlyFans.
That's fine.
This is a picture of one of the boilers. So there's several of these guys.
Yeah. It's a good looking boiler. It really is.
It's a good boiler. It's a brick boiler.
I could see myself in that boiler.
Okay. Well, that's not what I was expecting to hear, and I don't know how to respond. One thing you'll notice, so obviously, like, these are very tall boilers. Now, there is like a framework here for human people to stand, but please notice this little balcony here. There's no stairs going up to it. It's not an easy place to get to.
Yeah.
All right. Keep that in mind for
it's kind of like a Juliet balcony for boilers.
Yes, if you were inside the boiler and then opened your doors and were like, just need some air. It's so hot in there.
I'm done with this schwitz. Totally, I am ready.
Yes, that's right. So, two different employees have had ghost encounters at the boilers. One night, Kristen Molly, a senior public program specialist, was helping set up for a sleepover event with some teenage volunteers. And they were sleeping in this boiler room area. And the kids started talking about ghosts because they'd heard the ghost stories of the aquarium. And Kristen was like, well, I mean, don't worry. I've never seen a ghost here. I've been here a long time. I've never seen a ghost. Like, nothing strange has ever happened. Certainly not in the boiler room. Like, you're fine.
Yeah. Ghosts terrified of boilers, classically.
Yes. Yeah. So, yeah. Those send you straight to hell, and ghosts know that. It's a ghost rule. But later that evening, during the sleepover, Kristen at one point looks up and notices one of the big metal doors on the front of the boiler is open. Now, you've seen the door. They're sizable doors. They're heavy fucking doors.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Boiler doors.
Yeah. People probably, I bet there's like kids necking in there.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's what they're doing.
Yeah, sure. Neckin.
Yeah.
Neckin is what they call it, I think. They're also really difficult to get to. Not impossible to get to, but difficult to get to, hard to open, etc. And all the kids are accounted for.
Oh, so no neckers.
Because they do think like there might be necking going on in there.
Sure, yeah. No, okay. Head count. Who's necking?
No one's necking.
No one's necking.
No one's necking. So this became an episode of the Waltons, and that's great. So Kristen had never seen the door open before either. So she rationalizes it to herself. She says, it's not a huge deal. Like, I'm sure it just is open sometimes. Maybe it was always open. Just never noticed it. So a few days later, she's working another sleepover, and now there are some security guards there with her, and she's chatting with them, and they notice the same door is still open.
Okay.
And so she tells the guards, like, it's so funny. I never noticed that we had that one open before, but I guess that's just how it is. And the guards are like, absolutely not. The boiler doors, they don't open. Like, we do not open them. No one opens them. Like, they should be closed. Like, we don't know why that one's open. An hour later, she's walking around and she looks up, and the door, which was ajar, is now all the way swung open.
Oh.
And again, they have been watching the kids. Like, these are teenagers that sleep over. Like, they're keeping a fucking eye on them.
Yeah.
No one has gone up there. Now the door is all the way open. She asked the guards, like, if one of them is, playing a very funny joke.
Yeah.
And they say no, and they're also very alarmed.
Yeah. Like, we do all of our necking over in the otter exhibit. We don't do any of our necking over here. So
we get turned on by the sea lions. I don't know, like normal people. So we don't do it here.
Have you ever seen a sea lion canned?
Oh God, I gotta change my pants.
That's too much.
Oh no,
that's too much. Night shift is turning into day shift.
I told you never to say that again. You know what happens. Anyway, so they don't like that is open. Anyway, so not long after this, digital engagement associate, his name is Rachel Wong.
Mm-hmm.
She's setting up for the Halloween dance party for members.
Oh,
which again is a boiler area. Mm-hmm. Now she's carrying some stuff over to a table. When she looks up, she sees a man standing on one of the second story landings of one of the boilers, the Juliet balcony.
Get down, dude. You know, can't be up there. Yeah.
Now there's no one else in the museum at this point. So that's surprising to her.
Right.
Also, he's wearing a turn of the century cap and overalls. And so she's like, what the fuck? So she like turns to put her stuff down on the table so you can give him a proper talking to.
Like, these eccentric fucking hipsters breaking in here.
I fucking, oh God, I
goddamn engineers caps. Want to learn about, learn about steam power, whatever the fuck they're doing nowadays.
Go neckin in the boilers.
Yeah.
It's a TikTok challenge of neckin in the boilers. I'm so sick of it. So she puts down her things and she turns back up and he's gone. Completely vanished. One employee who was working once at the entrance to the museum was looking down at their computer, typing, going as you do when you are at a computer.
Right.
A man walks up, puts his hand down on the desk on the other side, just plants a hand. Normal thing for a person to do. Yeah. So she's like,
people do at my desk all day long.
Yes.
I'm at my desk, I'm typing. Somebody walks in and put their hand.
And they're like, hey, Patrick.
Right in front of my desk.
Hey, is this bothering you? Is this bothering you? Do you hate this? I'm not touching you. Not touching you.
I'm like, yeah, this is great.
I crave interaction, so I do love this. Thank you. Thank you for coming by.
Can you please just touch my fingernails? That's all I want.
Just don't ask why. Just please.
One at a time, and then leave.
If you could like scrape them, that would be, God, I'd love that. Please do.
Yeah. No, the cover will stay on though.
Hey, are you okay?
Getting better by the moment, honestly.
I know I'm not your best friend, but like I should ask, are you okay?
No. It's a very best friend thing to ask though. It really is.
Yeah, I'm working on it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to climb that ladder. So So she's at her computer. A guy puts his hand on the desk and is like tapping his finger. She's like, all right, 1 second. Now the man moves his hand closer and closer, which is so annoying. Like, it's like, I get it, dude. You're here. I understand. So she's annoyed. She can now see him up to the elbow, like in her periphery. She can see his arm up to the elbow. He's wearing this like yellow plaid shirt. And she's so annoyed. So she takes a few extra seconds of typing.
I would.
Yes.
Like, I am going to finish my email to my utility company.
I am going to finish my novel real quick. Only 40,000 more words to go. So she finally looks up. And when she looks up, the hand vanishes. There's no one there at all.
Ooh.
And this happened, quote, repeatedly. From that day on, Rachel caught a glimpse of the man in the yellow plaid shirt every time she worked that desk.
Ooh.
And finally, probably the most famous haunting at the Monterey Bay Aquarium is the ghost of the vault room. Would you like to hear the story of the ghost in the vault room?
What is kept in the vault room of a cannery?
More fish.
Where they keep the good fish.
I don't know.
Under lock and key.
Well, and when you see the vault room, because this one has some visuals.
If you recall Ocean's 11, you'll know that the first 10 Ocean's movies were about breaking into the sardine room.
We're going to need one very flexible small person to be able to break into the sardine room, please.
As well as Julia Roberts, for unknown reasons.
She will play herself in a very confusing twist, and we shouldn't question it. So, gosh, let's see. So this ghost gained some some national popularity because very early one morning, like 1, 2, 3 a.m.
Yeah.
A motion alarm at the aquarium sent the night shift security guards to the room that housed the vault. When they got there, the vault door was wide open, but there was nobody inside or in the adjacent area outside. And I don't know if you know this about vaults. They like to keep them locked.
Yeah.
So it's hard to get into them normally. So like, what the fuck? So they go back in, they check the cameras, and there are 2 cameras with eyes on the vault. There's one outside the door, and there's another one inside the vault area, which is triggered by motion. And so they check the video. And would you like to watch that video, Pat?
I would love to. I assume it's like an octopus that's just careening around the museum at 1 a.m.
It's a sardine who's like, I'm here to avenge.
It's very difficult to see. Several pixels across.
Okay, so here. Oh wait, it's going. Boop. Here is the view. No, stop. Here's a view. Stop. Here. This is the view from inside the vault door.
As the bright blue text claims. Yes. Okay. So we're inside the vault.
Yes. Ready?
Looking out towards the door of the vault. Okay.
Go.
The door is slowly opening.
Yeah. Frame by frame.
Yeah. Doesn't appear very vaultish. Looks more like an office door.
Correct. It's the vault is inside this room. So this is like this is the what's the Indiana Jones parallel here? It's it's not the Holy of Holies, but it's the Office of Offices that holds the Holy of Holies, I think. Yes. So this door is opening.
Right.
Now here's a view from, as you can see here, outside the vault door.
Okay, so like I see a locked office door, red light on the keypad. Oh, instantly unlocks. Light is flashing, saying basically it's time to come in.
Well, it's the thing.
Nobody's standing there. Yeah, nobody's standing there.
So the door opens. Now, as you have pointed out, which I think is really important, this is a door that is accessible only by key card.
Absolutely. Yes.
Right?
Yep.
Now, in the door, the key card light is red, which means locked.
Obviously.
But then suddenly it starts flashing, which is the universal sign for, key card has been read.
Yeah. Ghost detected, basically.
Yes. Yeah. And then the door opens. So you should not be able to, this door is not only just like a normal door that shouldn't open, but it also is a highly secure door.
Yep.
That should not open.
Yep. Handle does not turn, like nothing, just literally boop, door open. Swings open. Whew. Freaky deaky.
So not what you want.
No. I mean, it depends.
Is it? Does it?
I mean, do you want ghosts? Is this what you want?
Well, that's a good question. Yeah. If you
this is how you get ghosts, is by doing this.
Worth noting, this room is original to the cannery and is one of the oldest sections in the building. So yeah, these are the stories of the many ghosts that haunt the Monterey Bay Aquarium. And turns out salvaging an old factory that treated humans super badly, like so badly that John Steinbeck wrote a book about it. That's not a great idea. One final note here. The aquarium, God love them, they really lean into their haunted status. So every October during spooky season, they quote unquote rename the aquarium. The Monterey Bay Aquarium is renamed as the Monterey Boo Ascarium, which feels like a lot of work. It feels like too much.
You could have gotten away with like 2 of those 3. You didn't need all 3 of them. You really didn't.
Yeah. I mean, I love the chutzpah, but I don't know if you needed to go all 3.
They take down all the signage outside. It's very expensive. It's
yes, not worth it at all. But then they do like haunted tours and stuff, and that seems fun.
Wild.
Speaking of California aquariums, by the way, so I told you that Aaron and I brought the girls to the that aquarium in Long Beach with over Thanksgiving. So the aquarium we went to in Long Beach is called the Aquarium of the Pacific.
Makes
now,
sense.
I made the point.
For me, the Atlantic would be really weird out there.
That's true.
Right?
That's true. Yeah. I made the point the entire Pacific is an aquarium, if you think about it. And no one seemed interested in entertaining that idea. Which
you have a 4-year-old, right?
Almost 4. Yeah.
And a 2-year-old.
Correct.
Yes, and they were not entertained by this.
That's true, but also Erin and her family members. No one seemed interested in my thought experiment of like, hey, what if we just called the Pacific Ocean Aquarium?
I'm just imagining Erin like wiping one of your child's noses while feeding the other child. Be like, yeah, real fucking funny, Clayton. Very funny joke.
Real smart, idiot. Hey, you want to be a dad today or what?
Yeah.
No, I want to be an academic today, Erin. Thank you for asking.
Erin, did you know that all aquariums are full of water? Therefore,
is not our bathtub an aquarium when it is bath time?
It's not our environment, an aquarium of the air.
On a particularly humid day, should we not call this a better aquarium than it was yesterday?
Where are you all going? I wonder.
Why won't anyone answer my texts? Anyway, so this aquarium is in Long Beach, and just worth noting, I think it's right on the ocean, and it was a great aquarium, great space. Please go there. But right across from the bay, from the aquarium, is the Queen Mary. Now, the Queen Mary is an old steamship that is super haunted. Like one of the most well-known haunted places in the world. Like, incredibly haunted, right?
Yeah, like 10 times worse than the Kung Pao steamer.
Way worse than the Kung Pao steamer. Less delicious.
Yeah,
but way more haunted. We will do a story on this for Sunday for sure. But I was so excited because we're going to this aquarium, and I was like, "We'll see the Queen Mary. I could take a photo for our social media. It'll be very popular."
Absolutely.
So we get to the aquarium, and we got there like 20 minutes before Erin's family joined us, and I was like, "Well, this is a great opportunity. Like, if we just like walk through this little park, you can see the Queen Mary." And I look up, and there you can see the tops of the smokestacks from the boat.
Right.
And I was like, "Maple," my 3, almost 4-year-old. I was like, "Maple, let's go for a walk. Like, do you see those smokestacks? We're gonna go find that boat." It's like, "It's a boat. We're gonna go find it." And she goes, "Okay, why?" And I said, "Because it's really haunted. There's a lot of ghosts there, and I want to take a picture." That was the wrong thing to say. Because
you're gonna carry me towards the ghosts.
Yes.
Instead and away from mom. Right.
And she put that together instantly.
Very quickly. Yeah.
And she long story short, she refused to go one literal step further. So we did not get a chance to get a picture for the gram. And I said, "Maple, don't you understand the gram?" And she had run off back to Erin's arms at that point. So she was not in shouting distance any longer. Anyway, that's it. That's all. That's all. So that's the story of the Monterey Bay Aquarium. And if you want to go there, you can. Aquariums are cool, and they're like zoos for fish, and zoos are cool.
But fish are dumber than mammals, so you don't feel bad about it.
They don't know. They don't.
They have no idea. They're like, "I'm not going to eat them right now." Love it.
Yeah, there are some animals who are like, "Wait a minute, I'm pretty smart, and I think I don't like this." That's not fish, friends. That's not fish. Yeah. So you can go spend your money at the Monterey Bay Aquarium, and while you're there, get eaten by a ghost. Maybe, I don't know. Good luck. Good luck to you all. Is This a Ghost is a production of Smith Show Media. The research is done this week mostly by Jen Swanson. I did help a little bit. I want to say I did add some.
Good for you. So, good for you.
Thank you, Patrick. Thank you for that validation. That's good. All the good jokes are from Patrick Dean. Our audio editor is Jeremy Montoya. Our video editor is that same Jen Swanson, and we are so grateful to them both. And I think that's it. And next week we will, believe it or not, we were going to have another ghost story on Is This a Ghost?
Goodness.
Is that a red Solo cup?
Oh no, sir. No, sir. You would dare insult Bucky?
It is a red Solo cup.
It is not a. It is
the branded one.
It is hard plastic. It has been through the dishwasher dozens of times. Like to see a red Solo cup do that. Actually, here, let me change something real quick. Boop.
Whoa.
Don't worry, Jen doesn't need to fix anything. And Is it better? Is it better in ultra wide? It's gotta be better in ultra wide, right?
It's less awkward.
Yeah, we'll leave that guy right there.
Yeah, I think that's good. Thank you for that.
Yeah, but no, I'm celebrating Bucky's, or Bussies as we call it. Bussies has opened its first establishment here in the great state of Missouri.
I'll tell you, I'll be honest with you, I don't know what you're talking about.
Buddy. You've not spent enough time in the great American Southeast. Excuse me. You have not spent enough time in the great American Southeast.
Probably that's true.
It's hard to remember which way to turn it because it's flipped on both sides. So I'm hard. It's flipped, but I'm also looking at the flipped feed, and I'm not sure.
Okay, yeah, I see it now. Yeah.
Okay, it's kind of like looking at
it's a beaver, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
His name is Bucky. I did it wrong again. His name is Bucky, or Bussy, as we call him.
Probably not right.
Yeah. So it's kind of like if Walmart started a gas station in Tennessee, probably Texas or whatever the fuck, and put a beaver on the
That's
sign.
Cool. Okay.
It's not cool.
No, it's not.
Hold it right here at the bottom of the frame the whole time.
I like that the bottle of Pickney Bend is in frame, but not the part that shows that it's Pickney Bend.
hang on. Let me get a shelf or something. Can I put it here?
There you go. Yeah, just hold that. Just hold it right there. Yeah.
Sure. I had time for this. Yeah, why not?
Good. Okay.